Hi everyone, this is Dr. Renee of Transcendent Heart Life Coaching coming to you with the parenting tip of the week from the Heart and Soul Parenting Corner. Stay tuned. As a new parent, you may be thinking about the possibility of joining a parenting organization, a mommy and me group, some type of support group, because as I do remember and as I knew very well, that starting out as a parent can be very lonely, can be very scary. You don't know what you're doing, and if you don't have a lot of family around to provide you with that type of assistance, whether emotionally, spiritually, physically, somebody there just to help you get a nap or tell you why this one is still crying even though you've tried to soothe them and have done every possible thing and it's just not working out. Many of us will try to reach out and maybe join a collective organization, parenting organization, mommy and me organization. Many of these organizations have great intentions. And I know that there are many groups out there that are doing great work, but I want to caution you in your choice and selection of the group that you may be seeking. And I say this from personal experience as well as many clients that I've worked with over the years who often too struggled with this very same thing. So what am I talking about? I'm talking about your own identity. I want you to think for a minute and take a breath about who you truly are as an individual, because that's who you're going to be as a mother, as a father. Your parenting essence is part of who you already are. There is no seeking or searching that you need to do outside of yourself to already embrace that you will be an amazing parent. If there are things that you know you have constantly struggled with over the course of your life, then these are most likely things that you will continue to struggle with as a parent, and I certainly would recommend getting support and learning more about those various aspects. What am I talking about? Well, first and foremost, if you definitely struggled with nervousness, anxiety, being a new parent is a very stressful moment and time, and so that will definitely exacerbate stress and anxiety. So, will you exude those things as a parent? Absolutely. But if you find that there is a particular way about you, a way that you communicate, way that you are emotionally, way that you like to be touched and held, it's very much going to be what you're going to do as a parent. And why do I say this to you? Well, I say this because many individuals who go into these mommy and me groups and parenting organizations many times are seeking out just that support, that collective, someone to talk to, someone to have to maybe come over and, be there during the day so they're not alone all of the time, and maybe have lunch with, or their kids begin to play with as they get older. But when we first start out in these organizations, there's a lot of lacking in the sense of embracing our members. And so I want you, if you are a leader of a mommy and me or parent organization, I am talking most specifically to you. I want you to tell you what individuals are saying out there, that they feel as though their identity was not embraced. They feel as though that they were sort of judged for wanting to do something different than the collective of the group was sort of doing. What am I talking about? Well, let me give you an example. First and foremost, breastfeeding. How many times are we asked before we even leave that hospital about what we want to do? We often are said, the question comes up of, have you thought about breastfeeding? Well, of course I have. And when you decide that you don't want to, there's a lot of individuals consistently following you and coming to your room and talking to you about the importance of it and how it's so much better for the child, when actually, as a researcher, I can tell you the research is pretty mixed. So one of the things that I want individuals to begin to understand is that as young parents, new parents, their identity needs to be embraced. And if there was a conscious choice to not want to breastfeed, embrace that, honor that, and have some part of your organization or your collective that will also be respectful and understanding that for some reason, some way, somehow, there are people out there who don't want to breastfeed. It's a choice. Not everybody wants to do that. There is no negativity that's going to come of their ability to bond with their children because they made a conscious choice to not want to have to deal with breastfeeding. There may be physical reasons. There may be emotional reasons. They may know of other individuals who may have struggled emotionally and they're just choosing not to do that. Have a really kind, considerate discussion with members about options and why some individuals choose to do this and why others don't do that. I have found for many mothers, it was quite the struggle to fit into these organizations, first and foremost, because they chose not to breastfeed. Number two, you will have a variety of different parenting strategies. Trust me, there is much research out there on how a variety of different parenting strategies can be very successful with a variety of different types of children. So just because you're a very permissive parent, or this person is a very authoritarian parent, doesn't mean that those aren't very prominent parenting styles for different types of children. And so I think, again, in these types of organizations, we need to have a broader mindset, a broader perspective of the type of individual who is going to be seeking you out. You may predominantly have stay-at-home moms. That's great, but know that working moms also want to have support and understanding too. But when you're holding your meetings at 12 o'clock every single day, when that mom is at work, they're not going to have an opportunity to embrace and be with you. And so what we have is this segregation in society of stay-at-home mom organizations, working mom organizations, when we need to see a greater bridging of the gap between these groups. How many times on Facebook do you see these wars sort of get created about staying home from school that day because of a snow day, and the working moms are saying one thing and the stay-at-home moms are saying another, and those who work sort of like me out of the home and in the home, where do we fit in? And so there is this really interesting dynamic happening today, and I don't think that parenting organizations, Mommy and Me groups, are really understanding this and getting it. So I wanted to take this minute just to provide this little rant, we'll call it, to say if you are a leader of one of these organizations, bless you and thank you for wanting to do something good for parents out there today. But I want you to go ahead and look at the way that you attract membership. I want you to think about the conversations that you have within these types of groups and whether you truly are embracing a variety of different types of members. Are you embracing the choices that many of these members will want to make as parents? Because remember, again, we know best for our children. And also, are you being inclusive enough to make sure that you are having a very heterogeneous type of group? Because again, if we're creating these silos of these types of mindsets, these types of individuals out there, are we really truly teaching our children anything besides how to isolate themselves and only think in one particular way? So just wanted to give you this quick advice. If you're out seeking support, if you're really looking to belong to a very particular type of group, do your research. Ask questions of the members. See if they are honoring and respectful of your mindset and your choices as a parent, but you too also be open to theirs. So again, this is Dr. Renee of Transcendent Heart Life Coaching. Check us out at www.transcendentheart.com. Also be sure to check out our latest videos on raising highly sensitive children and how to harness grit within children today. Thank you and have a wonderful, wonderful week.